Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 19th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks like we are good to go here. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, perfect. Looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Going down to the 2 hour. Going down to the 1 hour. Going down to the 30-minute. Going down to the 15. Going down to the 10. And back down to the 1 minute. All right, guys, looks like we are good to go. So good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 19th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open up in about 5 minutes. I'll post up the direction of the breakout for today, guys, but I'm not going to be taking it. If you guys follow the breakout from yesterday, didn't hit full TP. It got really close to it, but it didn't hit full TP. I think it got up to 93 points. Let's go check it real quick. So right here, you can see price came down very, very low. So it came down to about 61 points, and it dropped to about 93 points, but it didn't reach the full TP of 100 points. Ended up reversing all the way up for a stop. So I'm gonna do some more tests, some adjustments to the model. I'm gonna see if like I should adjust my TP stop loss to like I'm thinking 70 points. So I might turn on a trailing stop for the strategy. Not at 50, but like closer to like 70. So if price gets past 70 points, I would adjust my TP stop loss to 70 because it looks like this happens like when the market's choppy, right? So since the trade lost yesterday and it lost on Friday, I'm not taking the entry for the breakout. I'm gonna wait for a win before I take the next one, the next entry. I'll mark it up for you guys, the one for today, but I'm not gonna be taking it. So just a heads up for the breakout today. I need to follow my risk plan. And my risk plan is if it ever has two back-to-back losses, I don't take any trades until it has another win. So that is going to be what I'm looking for over here for the breakout. Hey Tara, morning. Morning CJ, morning everybody. All right, looks like people are still making their way in. So my main focus for today will probably be the scalps since I'm not taking the breakout. I'll mark up the breakout, but we'll see. So no breakouts for me until the next one hits. You're going to see the win rate to be a lot lower for the breakout moving forward, guys, because we are using the 1 to 2 risk to reward. So it balances out long term, but it's going to have more losses than wins, of course. I think the win rate drops to closer to like a little slightly below 50%, but because it is a 1 to 2, you really only need more than 40% to be at break even. So yeah, looking at our stats from last week. Last week was actually a pretty good week. I was out of town, guys, so I wasn't able to post up the stats until last night. So last week we had 9 wins and 3 losses. Total profit of 170 points, total gain of 3.75%. So last week was actually a pretty good week overall. The breakout on Monday was supposed to hit, but I didn't make the adjustments on that day. Tuesday, there was no entry because it was packed back to back. And then full TPs on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday was a loss, of course. But we still had net profit for the breakout last week because we did move to that 1 to 2 risk to reward. Nice. So Daniel said yesterday he adjusted his stop to the lower session that it bounced off. Maybe you should move TP to the closest session. That was right at 90 points, a little safer. Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing, Daniel. So I think I need to find like something that's going to make more sense, right, for the entry. So yeah, I agree with you. I think once price gets past the 50 points, I need to move the stop loss and profit to a certain area. So the breakout for today is going to be a buy, guys. So with that, I should probably turn on the session just to understand where the possible swings are. So the sessions is right there. All right, guys, we got market opening up in about 20 seconds. I'm going to mark the breakout for today. Breakout for today is a buy. I'm not taking it because I had 2 back-to-back losses on on Monday and Friday. So I have to wait for a win before I can take another trade for the breakout specifically. So breakout for today is going to be a buy. There's a session up here. So like what Daniel said, what he typically does is he moves a stop loss in profit to that area when price reaches that point. So here's the breakout right here, guys. Market is now open. I'm not in the position. Volatility is a little low right now. Price is pushing in profit. Let me check over here real quick, see if there's anything to look at. So nothing here at the moment for the scalps. But the breakout is pushing right here. So I'm going to put a couple alerts here. So I'm going to have that right there. I'm also going to set an alert at sessions. Okay. I guess we don't really need this. Let me turn this off because I have this on my regular chart. So I'm not in the position right now for the breakout, guys, but the breakout is currently running. I noticed this yesterday. The markets are like really slow and really choppy. This isn't good for the breakout because typically you want price to break out in a specific direction. But I'll continue looking for some possible opportunities here. So what I'll be looking for here is a possible V1 variation. So I'll look for price to push up, retrace down, give me a double body rejection and a continuation to the upside. So I'll be looking for some possible scalps here. So the overall direction for today is it's kind of mixed. So the 10 minutes bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 1 minute switching to bullish, 1 hour is bearish, 4 hour is bearish, and the daily time frame is bullish. So it's pretty mixed right now across the board with regard to the direction of price. I mean, obviously here on the 1 minute, I'll probably be looking for some possible buys here, but we'll see what happens. The volatility here is very low though. ATR is currently at 25, but you can see the overall volatility in the market is a bit low and a bit choppy. So the breakout's still in profit right now. It just hasn't really moved too much. Don't see any entries here yet at the moment. There's liquidity sitting right there. See if price breaks past that liquidity and pushes up to the sessions. Yeah, slow market today. All right, let's go to the clean chart. Let me see if I can mark up some structure here. Let me mark up opening price first. Opening price was there. Yeah, there's just not too much movement today. On that black. Need that upper one. So here's a clean chart. It's not really much markups here. This is the TP for the breakout, but you can see price is kind of just bouncing in between these two levels right here. It's bouncing between the 43,200 level and the 43,150 level. So a 50-point range right now between this area. Not too much direction. Let's go to our SR chart. The zones are pretty spaced out too. Let me see if there's any closer zones that I can mark up just for reference. That's about it. All right, so here's SR chart. SR chart shows a break and retest of the support right here. Continuation to the upside. So the range is a little wider here on the SR charts. For the clean chart over here, price is still within these two price points, about a 50-point range or a 50-point consolidation. We got price pushing up higher right there. It's finally pushing up to the liquidity, which is above. So here's our markup chart. Breakout's currently in profit. Markup chart right here shows the range between the 43,141 and the 43,215. So this is the current range within our markup chart. So the range over here kind of lines up slightly nearby, not completely, but slightly nearby. You can see the range over here on the clean chart. These are the price levels. So between the 200 and the 150 on the markup chart, price is ranging between the 215 and the 141. So just slightly wider on the markup chart here. These are basically the high lows. And then here on the support resistance, it's kind of just right here in the middle. The support resistance is way wider. So it goes from support resistance, pretty wide range right here between this price point and this price point down here. The range for the clean chart is between this price point, 200, and this one down here. And then same with our markup chart over here, same thing. It's just a little bit wider than the clean chart. And there's no entries here for us to take right now. There's much of a direction. Let's see, Roz said, I see sells. I don't really see anything here right now specifically. I see sells on the longer time frames, but on the lower time frame here, 1 minute, it still looks like a buy. I mean, right now, price is above the pivots. Pivots are pushing to the upside. We have a bullish momentum. Trend meter down below is green. So right now, I would still be looking for some possible buys here on the shorter time frames. On the higher time frames, I do see sells. So depending on what time frame you're looking at, the 1 minute does look like a sell. 4 hour looks like a sell. The daily looks like a buy. So if you look at the daily chart over here, the daily chart's actually rejecting off the pivot. So this could be a rejection and a pushback to the upside. If you look over here on the 1 hour, we have a double body rejection right here. This is a reversal pattern. So if you see this double body right here and this closes in the next 22 minutes, this could be a reversal pattern to the upside. So the trend looks bearish, but looking at the possible hints here for price to reverse to the upside are likely, because the 1 hour looks like it's about to reverse to the upside. The daily candle is actually bullish. The 4 hour over here is still bearish. So 1 hour is looking bullish, daily's looking bullish, 1 minute's looking bullish. The 5 minute here isn't really rejecting off anything. So actually it is, it's rejecting off the bottom here. So this looks like it can be shifting bullish as well. So it actually looks bullish. Looks like buys here for YM, which is good because the breakout over here is still for a buy. So the breakout's still running in profit. Again, there's no entries here for us to take. Price is just going sideways right now, right down this range. So I'll keep looking for entries here. We have another level of liquidity up there, and we have another level of liquidity below here. So you guys can see the range is getting tighter. The range was initially between this higher high and this higher low right here. And now it's tightened up. It's now between this lower high and this higher low right here. So price is squeezing. It's getting tighter and tighter within this little range. The good thing about this is that if price squeezes like this, it's setting up for a breakout. So eventually, once price is done squeezing and getting tighter and tighter, it's going to break out to the upside, or it's going to break out to the downside, right? There's no guarantee which direction price will go, but if I'm going to put my card on the table, I'm probably going to identify this as a push to the upside. One thing is that this liquidity here is getting closer. Usually if the liquidity gets closer and it starts to squeeze like this, it's going to break through these areas here. It would ideally would break past these areas before it breaks past this area down here. So if you guys remember, this is something that we looked at in the past. Typically when the liquidity is really tight and it's close and you start to see a lot of liquidity stacking in one area, typically that's like where a lot of stop losses are being set, or not being set, but a lot of stop losses are being placed, and price is likely to come and trigger to wipe out all those stops, right? So we use those as target price points. Yeah, Patricia said, wow, this market blows. Surprisingly, right? I wasn't expecting this sideways movement. Market just opened. So typically when market opens at 6:30, this is the most volatile time of the market. Right now, it's not moving at all. Let me go and check FX real quick. I'm gonna see the news. There was high impact news this morning too at 5:30. So I'm surprised there's no movement right now, because with this high impact news, you're expecting some sort of volatility spike, like market to react to it. Let me go over here real quick and mark up that news. So the news happened over here, 5:30. It wasn't much of a movement, but it was actually no movement. Very small candle. The direction followed after, but for the most part, pretty flat. All right, so price is sitting right here at opening price. Still nothing going on. Let's go to our clean chart. Again, like I said, this is the range. Price hasn't broken out of it broke out right here, but it faked out right back in. So the range is still between the 43,200 and the 43,150. Hasn't really pushed out of this range yet. This is our clean chart. Going over to our SR chart, let me see if there's more zones. So there's one zone right here. Just set up, this is a resistance. Okay, so the SR chart over here pretty much aligns with every other chart that we have now on our screen. So the SR chart established a resistance right here. Price again is just ranging between these two zones. This lines up slightly with the clean chart right here. It's just this one's a little more cleaner because it gives you a specific area where price is rejecting from. Price is rejecting off this resistance, but I think this here is going to be a possible fake out. So I think this is a fake out back down, possibly back up, break through, and further to the upside. You can see how much liquidity is kind of just sitting in this support, in this resistance level right here, right? Because there's this whole area right here, which is the resistance level. If you look at our markup chart, there's a ton of liquidity just hanging out right there. All right, so this liquidity got moved down lower. Again, like I said, this liquidity is still a lot closer. So I think if I was to bet on this, I would bet that price is going to break through this area of liquidity above. There's still no V1 variations or any of those entries that are on the chart yet. I'm looking for something here, but there's just nothing here yet. I was hoping we get a sell signal. So I wanted a sell signal to come up and then look for price to push back up to correct to the upside. Sell signal has been pending for the past 4 candles now. You can see right here, again, it is pending. Let's see if it actually closes, but it just has not closed yet. But again, just not much going on here at the moment. Let's see, CJ said 3 or 4 market flow V2s have hit. Didn't take them because it's not 640 yet. Hope they still hit back to back when it's time to take them. Yeah, CJ, same here. I'm looking for like more of a direction first before I start taking those market flow V2s too. Also because it's sitting right at the opening price, it's kind of tricky, you know, where it's currently at right now. I don't want to trade within this middle area right here. It's where opening price is at. So I'm looking for it to push past. Breakout's still running, guys. I mean, I'm not in the position, but it's still running. I just need to document and follow the breakout because if the breakout wins today, then I'll take the breakout tomorrow. If it doesn't win today, then I'm going to keep following it until it wins. And then I'll start looking for some opportunities for entry. All right, so let's see if price is finally going to push up and blast through the liquidity right here that I talked about. Price is pushing up, breakouts in profit. Sell signal still hasn't closed, so it's going to be hard to look for some V1 variations here. I'm looking for like a couple things in specific. So I'm looking for V1 variations. I'm looking for breakout V3 continuations. What else am I looking for? Market flow V2s. There's just no direction here. All right, so price is still within the range. You can see the opening price here is acting like a magnet. Whenever price pushes away, pulls right back to the blue line here, which is opening price. Breakout again, still in profit. Let's take a look at the bigger picture over here. 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes rejecting off the pivots right there. This is where it becomes a little tricky because you have a 5 minute rejecting off the pivot below. So it's looking like price is attempting to swing to the upside. On the 10 minute over here, you're getting an opposite rejection. You're getting a rejection from the top side. So it's not looking so great on the 10 minute. However, looking over here on the 1 hour, you can see that there's a double body rejection right here. This is a reversal pattern. There's about 14 minutes left on this candle. If this candle does close, this could be a possible pattern for reversal to the upside. Looking over here on the 4 hour, there's nothing here really to look at. And then looking at the daily here, price is rejecting off the pivot on the bottom end. So this can be an indication that price is looking to bounce off here and push right back to the upside on the daily. So yeah, market today is not super great, as you guys can see. There's no direction. Price is going back and forth. We're still within this range right here. I mean, this range is pretty bad. So price has been ranging within this middle area right here for about 20 minutes now. About 20 minutes, price has not broken out of this little range on the clean chart. I think the clean chart gives us the most clearest range, because you can see right here. The range is also clear on the clean chart, on the markup chart, but the markup chart over here, just there's more stuff going on. So like I said, if I was to bet on this, I would bet on this to push to the upside because the liquidity is sitting right there. Again, we have another liquidity that may establish right here soon as well. It's crazy that the market's this flat. It's Tuesday. All right, so let's see. Price is trying to push up to that area of liquidity right there. Liquidity right there is getting triggered. Gonna blast through it though. CJ said, I'm starting to think everyone traded the news at 5:30 and went back to bed. I know, right? Seemed like that. Because right here, the news happened at 5:30, nothing happened. Then it came down super hard. And then it ended up going super flat right here. Yeah, I still don't see any scalps here, guys. I don't see any V1 variations. I don't see anything for me to take here. Price pushed up, hit that level of liquidity. So this one here is now going to be invalidated. And it is, again, right there, starting to it just gets closer and closer. This upper level of liquidity still hasn't gotten knocked out. And here we go, price comes back down. Looks like it's going to knock out this liquidity, or try to at least. I really would like the sell signal to come up. So ideally, that's kind of what I'm waiting for right here, guys. I'm waiting for the sell signal to come up. And then what I want to see here is for it to swing back up and then provide a V1 variation somewhere around here. And I could possibly ride that to the upside, right? So I do want the sell signal to come up here. That's what I'm looking for and what I'm waiting for. So price came down, knocked out the liquidity right there. So you guys can see how and why we use these as targets. This price came down over here, knocked out the liquidity. Let's see if it's now going to drop down lower. If it drops down lower, that's completely fine. See if the breakout's still running. All right, so the breakout didn't play out for today. So with that said, there's not going to be a breakout that I'm taking tomorrow. I'm going to hold off on the breakouts until we have one win. We have to have at least one win for the breakout before I start taking the breakouts again. That's part of the risk off plan. If you guys are not familiar with that, basically with the breakouts, I'm doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So in order for me to not get caught in this choppiness in the market, I just don't trade when the market's not moving directional. So right now, market's not moving directional. I'm not taking any breakouts until the market moves directional and we have a win for the breakout. So this allows us to conserve capital while we wait for the market to start moving directional again. So not bad. There's no entries for us right now there. So what I'm looking for here again is I'm either looking for price to correct back to the upside, or I'm looking for price to continue dropping here. Because if it drops here, that's completely fine. I don't care where price goes. I'm looking for some scalps here. Here goes, this liquidity's got knocked out. The range is now wider. And we're in this bigger range now. Personally, I prefer the bigger range. Looks like price here may fake out. So look how price came below this point. Let's see if it fakes out right here and pulls back into the range. So there's about, there's like maybe 2 scenarios here that may play out. So either price comes below here and continues dropping, knocks out this liquidity, or price fakes out at some point right here and comes right back up. Turn this off. And now we wait to see how price reacts to where it's currently at. We're currently in a bigger range now. Let's see, CJ said, I use liquidity as a confluence and took that high level momentum. Nice. So there's a high level momentum right here. There's a higher high. Sell signal broken close below. CJ took this here for a sell and wrote it down to the liquidity that was down below. So nice work right there, CJ. So again, I don't care where price is going. I just want to see some sort of confirmation here. If price drops any lower, price may come down to this lower level of liquidity down here. This here was a breakout V3 continuation. This is what I was looking for, but because the trend here hasn't been confirmed yet, I wouldn't have taken it. So there's a sell signal here, red candle that followed it, breakout V3 continuation. Again, I wouldn't take it because there's no confirmation of trend to the downside. Looking over here, there is confirmation of trend with the 5-minute and 10-minute, but the 1 minute didn't confirm with it just yet. So looking over here, 4 hour, 1 hour, everything's pretty much bullish now confirmed. So we got the 1 minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. They're all, for the most part, bearish. The daily time frame over here is still bullish, but daily is not really going to be too much of a use for us there. So again, let's see what happens here if price ends up swinging back up. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a buy signal to come up. And then I'll look for some sort of double body rejection from the top end. So if you guys remember before, there was like different ways to apply the V1 variation. Typically, you would want to have that pending momentum, but we applied it in the past where you don't really need it. It's a hard requirement for the original V1 variation, but we had one where it was like a V1 continuation, right? If you guys remember that. V1 continuation is basically, now that we have a sell signal here, price is below, you can just look for the double body rejection off the next high and then write it down further. So you look for a high here, look for a double body rejection or double wick rejection, and then patch that continuation back to the downside. But I mean, it looks like price here is trying to pull back into the range. So like I said earlier, there's a couple of different scenarios that could have played out. Price either would have confirmed and continued dropping from this point and hit this lower level of liquidity, or price was going to fake out and pull back into the range up here. So this is going to be a little tricky, guys. There's going to be a double body rejection right here. This could be a V1 variation. So I think this is one that I would be maybe okay taking. Let me see if I can mark it up. I just want to make sure the candle's not too big. So this could be a V1 variation right here, guys, if the candle closes. We got a double body rejection right there. See, I think this is one that I would be okay with taking. So let's see. Candle's closing in about 20 seconds. So we got candle closing in about 10 seconds here. Candle closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. V1 variation. So this would be a V1 variation, but it would more so be called a V1 continuation because you're just using a continuation in the direction of the
order submitted
of the sell signal right here. Let me see if I can make some adjustments to it. I got to make sure my trailing stop works here. And that's probably gonna stop me out. Let's see if it comes back down. So this one, I was waiting for that buy signal to close on here. It actually didn't close. If it did close, it'd be a V1 variation, but since it didn't close, this would be considered a continuation instead of a variation. Because it's just continuing from the sell signal right here. So let's see if this here comes down further. And I really hate this choppy market. There's just no still in the position. This is probably gonna stop me out. So this buy signal here is still flickering. Let's see, Oscar said I took the market sell, filled me at 43,103. Wait, how did that even happen, bro? That's so far down. When'd you get in, Oscar? That's crazy, bro. Yeah, mine is like right here I mean, I got in right where I was supposed to, or I got in like slightly below it. So I got in like right here. Forgot to log into my Apex on here, so you can't see the lines on the chart. But you guys heard my Ninja Trader. That's crazy how low you got in. How you got in from. Mine's a little low. It's at 43,126. So I got in like right below right here. All right, I got stopped out of that one. It's all good.
order filled.
So I got stopped out right here on the V1 variation. Again, this market is just not really moving too directional, so that was kind of expected, but it's all good. So I'll look for the next one here. Let's see what we got next. Let's see, iPhone said filled me at 43,003. Yeah, that's weird that you guys got in like super low. Mine got in like slightly, just like slightly below it at 126. So I was off by like maybe, I was actually off by a lot. I was off by like 4 or 5 points. This is why I don't really like taking market orders. I usually like using the pending orders because it'll get me where I need to be in. But with these V1 variations and these other entries, it kind of requires that I do take them in a specific way. So looking at this right here, guys, if this candle closes, this could be a possible breakout V3 continuation. So BV3 right here. The only problem is that the candle might be a little too big. So I'll be swinging this to the upside. It's gonna be my last entry for the day if I take it. So candle's closing right about now. All right, so I got into this right here as well. This will be my last entry for the day for the most part. 76.
Order submitted.
So I got in a little there. So this is a breakout V3 continuation. We got a buy signal followed by a green candle. Let's see if it pushes up and it reaches the liquidity up here. 658. So, I mean, I don't know how worse the volatility can get right now. Typically, the volatility gets worse around 7 o'clock, but I don't know how worse it can get because it's pretty bad as is right now. My entry on this one was actually okay. So I didn't get any slippage on this one. Yeah, it's weird that some of you guys got in like with some really bad slippage. Like iPhone over here said he got slippage of like, I mean, his was even worse. He got in at 43.08, 43.83, which that is super, super low. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with you guys. I thought mine was bad, but yours was like way down there below it. All right, so this is the last entry before 7 o'clock. Let's see how the volatility picks up if it stays low. In today's market in general, just flat. So here's the clean chart. It pretty much respected the zones that we drew up or that I drew up earlier. So I drew these zones here when market opened up. Like I said, the range is basically between the 200 over here and the
Order filled.
100. I think I got stopped out on that one too, huh? Okay, I'm done trading for the day. Unfortunately, 2 losses over here for the scalps. I didn't take the breakout for the day, so I just have losses over here for the scalps. There are minor losses because I take lesser risk on these scalp entries. Loss for the V1 variation and loss for the breakout V3 continuation. I should have assumed that this was going to be the case because obviously there's no direction here. Price is pretty much ranging between these two areas, but it's fine. It's still early in the week, so I'll be able to make those back hopefully tomorrow if the volatility and the direction is more clear. So here's the clean chart from today. Basically, nothing's really changed. Price is still sitting within this range that I drew up. I drew this up as soon as market opened, and it's pretty much been sitting within this area all throughout the day here. So that's it for that one right there. I'll keep looking for entries. I'll keep analyzing the market, but I'm not taking any more entries. Typically, my entries happen between 640 and 7 for the scalps. Today's scalps just didn't play through. There's no direction here. So let's see what else we got over here. We got another zone down below. Man, and yeah, of course, after it hits the stop loss, what happens? Price comes all the way back up. And this market is super, super. I was hoping as soon as Trump became president, we have some more direction, whether it be to the upside or to the downside. Nothing really happened. We had some direction for, I guess, I don't know, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then here we go as price is just back to where it was before. Rangy market. Yeah, Daniel said maybe when he takes office. I agree. I think next year, once he takes office and all the policies become implemented, we'll have more direction. But as of now, there's just not really much going on with regard to the market. Price is still going back and forth. It seems like all the hype here has kind of died down a little bit from Trump's presidency or since he got elected. I'm kind of curious to see where's Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin is still climbing. Crypto market is still climbing. It's just every other market is kind of flat for the most part. I know the stock market is kind of flattened out as well. Crypto market is still kind of climbing up though. So, all right, we'll keep looking for some entries here. Again, there's nothing for us to take here at the moment. Price is still just kind of going sideways here. And we'll just see where this takes us. I mean, realistically, you want price to break out of this area. So in order for you to really have some good entries here, you want price to break out of this range. You need price to break below and continue dropping from there. Or you need price to break above and continue climbing from here. Either way, there's no direction at the moment. Price is probably going to keep ranging between this area. So I'm not going to take anything here. Obviously, market's not working in my favor. Yeah, I know, Daniel, right? It's super, super high. I'm curious to see how far Bitcoin pushes. I know a lot of people are calling for it to, or people have like some crazy numbers. Like I've seen some people call it to go up to 200,000 or 500,000. I don't see it going up that high. Honestly, I see it going to 100,000, but I think like 500,000, like by the end of next year or by the end of 2026, I think that's wishful thinking for sure. I mean, right now it's already super high. You know, it's gone up how much? It's gone up since 68,000 on November 5th up until now, 90,000. The Bitcoin hype is going to die down, of course. It's going to die down because there's only so many limited Bitcoins in the world, right? So, I mean, you can only go up so high because people can't afford Bitcoin anymore at that point. Like only certain people can afford Bitcoin at this point. Like you can buy partials, but it's way too high. Yeah, Daniel said, I hate looking at cryptos these days. I had 11 Bitcoin right before COVID, had to sell everything to get my restaurant through. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? I had a lot of Bitcoin before too, because when I used to trade with, the unregulated brokers, I would have, I would get my withdrawals in Bitcoin. So I would have them and then I would just sell them because I honestly, I didn't really need to sell them. I just sold them for whatever reason. I still have about like, I think 20,000 in Bitcoin. So I'm just going to leave that in there and not touch it. But yeah, I had way more before. And back in law school, my roommate used to pay me rent in Bitcoin. So I had a lot of Bitcoin, um, like in 2014 when it was super, super cheap. It would have been crazy if I held on to it. All right, still no direction here, guys. Again, I'm going to wait for price to break out of this area. That's probably going to be when you start looking for some entries. Man, I really thought this here was going to push through from this point. I was like, okay, price is pushing above. And it's going to have to push up, but no, it's just been a bunch of fake outs here. So fake out from here, I thought price. So earlier, let me just go over, I'll review our entries from today. So right here, this looked like price was going to come down. We had the sell signal, price came below, retrace, continue down lower. That's the first entry that I took that loss. Unfortunately, I got caught in the fake out, price came down, came up, stopped me out. And then right here, I was okay, we have another confirmation. If the sell didn't work, price is probably going to swing to the upside. So I saw the buy signal here, the green candle, bullish trend, bullish momentum. At this point, I was like, okay, price is now probably going to climb up and go up from here, right? Was I wrong? Price ended up coming down and now it's coming right back up. It's just sitting around this area. So you can't really take any directional entries right now, guys. If you guys are looking to take anything directional, I would hold off on it. I think your better bet would be taking V1 variation entries. So for example, right here, this could be a possible V1 variation entry. I'm not going to take it because, like I said, I'm done trading for the day. But if this candle does close red, like it has to for sure close red, this could be a possible V1 variation back down into the range. I would be careful with any breakout V3 continuations here. You might get caught in the same trap that I got caught in right here. This was actually my mistake. So now looking at this here, I didn't realize that the opening price was right there. I should have checked twice because this is obviously a red flag, right? This is obviously a red flag. So I kind of messed up on that scalp there for the breakout V3 continuation. I should have waited. I mean, it looked good though. It looked like, okay, if this was going to come down, this is going to swing up, but obviously, I didn't use my best judgment on that entry there. So it looks like if this candle here closes green, which it did, it's at opening price, another red flag there. And of course, no direction. Price is still going sideways right here. So it looks like it's back in this consolidation. All right, not much going on here, guys. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. So just a reminder, guys, I'm going to start mentoring again. I don't know for how long I'll be mentoring for, but I'll be mentoring again, at least for the next couple months, maybe for the next year at least. I just want to keep busy. I want to keep busy on the charts. I want to keep busy with teaching. I want to keep busy with running the hedge fund. I just want to keep busy in the trading space. I feel like for the past couple of years, I haven't really been doing much. I've been doing things other than trading. I've been like I've been finding different hobbies and stuff, but like for the most part, I haven't really been trading or mentoring or any of that stuff. Trading's been good. So it's been to a point where it's been kind of robotic for me. Obviously you guys have been here on my live sessions every day. I just been trading every day where I don't really do much different. I kind of just do the same thing every day and it's been good. But I want to be more engaged with the market because now that Trump's becoming president, I want to see how the market is going to be reacting to his presidency. Right now, obviously nothing's happening. Price is going back and forth, but I want to be in line with like what's going to happen next so that I can catch the bigger moves. In order for you to do that, you have to be actively on the charts. So like I said before, I haven't mentored in a while, but I'm going to be mentoring people again, like one-on-one and in a group setting, because when I mentor people, it forces me to look at the charts, right? It forces me to look at things and see how market structure is moving. And it forces me to like get creative with like what to look for in the market. When I'm just trading by myself or like when I trade here on the live session, I already have a game plan set, so I know what I'm going to do. But it doesn't really allow me to think outside the box. Whenever I mentor people, people always ask me questions that I never think of, right? They'll ask me some like outlandish questions, like, hey, why don't you do like a 1-to-6 risk reward? Or why don't you do like 1-to-5? I don't really look at that because I'm typically doing a 1-to-1 or I'm doing like a negative. So yeah, I think it'll be beneficial for both of us, for me and for the people who I am mentoring, because when I get those newbie questions, it's gonna make me think kind of farther out than what I'm already thinking. Because you guys already know how I trade. Like typically when I trade, I either go for the sideways moves, V1 variations, or I look for the directional moves. And typically when we take these directional moves, they're usually for like a 1-to-1. Like there's always going to be like two different criterias, right? 1-to-1 or a 1030, right? Like typically when I take an entry, my stop loss will get moved to the 10 points. But what I want to look into more is, since Trump is supposed to bring volatility to the market, I kind of want to make some adjustments to it again, like we did in the past. So like before, when the market was volatile, I was able to do something like this, right? Like a 1-to-2. I think this still wouldn't work because the volatility is just not that high enough for me to do this. I mean, I might get stopped out before I get to my TP. So I don't think this will work yet. But eventually, I think if the volatility does pick up, we may be able to look at something there. Let me check out NQ real quick. So let's see, NQ. Or you know what, I'll do NQ on our markup chart so I can see it with my tools. Because one thing I was looking at was I was curious to see if NQ was moving more volatile than IM, but it's not really doing any different. It's pretty much the same thing. There's a V1 variation that came up right here. Price came down, red candle, green candle, double body rejection. See, I try to find some sort of sweet spot here. 25.50. 30.60. I'm just trying to figure out where could we. No, but it doesn't always work. Like for that one would have hit, but this one over here would have stopped out. I think candle was too big though. The main issue with NQ is that I don't really trade NQ, so I'm not sure how the volatility is supposed to line up. So yeah, I think this will be beneficial for me because I know a lot of people are going to ask me if I can teach them how to trade NQ. And you can trade the same strategies on NQ. It's just I got to figure out what the TP stop losses are going to be more based off of. That's all good. I'll come back to that in the future. But yeah, back to YM. There's still nothing going on here, guys. There's just no direction. There's also no direction with NQ. But the thing with NQ is that it is like there's no direction, but there's more volatility. So it's easier to catch these V1 variations. I mean, looking at this here, you can kind of just catch V1 variations in both directions. Like whenever price ranges here for NQ, like there's a V1 variation right here. It's just really understanding what your TP stop loss should be. I think this candle's too big. I think the threshold can be like 100 points or 100 ticks. I think they call them ticks here for NQ. So this candle here is a little too huge. Probably would have skipped that one. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Possibly right here. The other problem with NQ is that they usually don't line up right next to each other. They're usually a little off balance. But this could be considered a V3 variation where it doesn't have to be exactly lined up, but it just needs to be a high with the green candle and a following red candle. So high with the green candle, following red candle. This over here actually would work perfect. 30.60. Same with this one right here, low with the red candle. It's basically a CB pattern. Low with the red candle, followed by a green candle. So I think NQ actually works really good with a sideways market. So when the market's going sideways, these V1 variations actually work very well with NQ. Yeah, this candle is about 66 points, so it meets the criteria of the 100-point distance. Again, right here, another one, double body rejection. Candle's a little too big though. Actually, no, it's not past the threshold. So again, right there. So I think like if the market's going sideways, NQ is actually a really good because it's so volatile. It's a good asset to trade in a sideways market. I mean, it's good to trade on a directional market too, but for the most part, NQ looks like if it is going sideways like this, see for YM, it's different because you don't really get a push. You kind of just get price sitting there and doesn't really do much. But with NQ, price can go back and forth and you can easily catch V1 variations at the opposite ends. So I'll look into it. And obviously we'll go from there. Because I already know people are going to ask about NQ. NQ is like probably the most popular asset now. It used to be, so the most popular one before was like gold, and then it went from gold to like US30, and then from US30 it moved over to NQ, right? Or NASDAQ, whatever people want to call it. CJ said, does that mean we're going to get a mentoring session this week? Let me check the schedule real quick. I mean, possibly, yeah. So over here real quick. let's see. So unfortunately, not this week. We could start next week. So I want to get us back on a schedule. I have a lot of meetings this week for the Kodi Kai Capital clients. I mean, there's just so many clients for Kodi Kai Capital that like my whole week is kind of like stacked. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to have one this week. We could start next week. So starting next Monday, November 25th, we'll do our group mentoring session. And then if you guys have access to the indicators, you guys are entitled to a one-on-one session with me once per month. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. And we can do a one-on-one session. Just make sure you come with questions so that we can really like make use of that hour. So everyone who has access to the indicators, I know I haven't done this in a while, but we'll do this for as long as I can for the most part. So if you guys have access to the indicators, or if you guys are new and you want to be mentored by me, I'll teach you A to Z, whatever you need help with. You know, if you need help using the Ninja Trader platform, if you need help identifying the charts, if you need help analyzing the charts, marking up the charts, like if you need help setting things up like this, because I think this helps a lot. If you guys know how to identify like separate charts here, and then you're able to have support and resistance on one chart, a clean chart with just specific price levels, and then you have your markup chart here. And then on top of that, you have your overall view here on the time frames. I think this will help you understand the markets a lot better. So if you guys are new here and you guys want access to me basically to mentor you one-on-one, you know, I trade live every day. So if you want to trade the way I do, or if you want to trade your own specific way, I can help you improve on your trading, whether it be my style, your style, whatever style, really. Just go to the website. So if you go to the website here, go to kodikaitrades.com, click on Kodi Kai Trading Strategies right here. As long as you have access to the tools and stuff, I can show you how to trade on basically any asset, any time frame. For me personally, I like to trade on the 1 minute because I want to keep my trading within a certain time parameter. I like trading between 640 and 7. That's like my edge in the market. But if you want to trade on the 5 minute, 15 minute, if you want to trade all throughout the day, we can still look at stuff like that too. Because the strategies work on any time frame. I just don't want to be on the chart all day. That's the main thing for me. Like I can trade on the 5 minute, but if you look at the 5 minute over here, like you have to be on the chart for a pretty long time to find an entry, right? But I'll show you like an example. Like let's go back to like last week. Like if you're trading on the 5 minute over here, you have a buy signal, and then you have a green candle following it. This here again would be a breakout V3 continuation, right? Or if you wanted to take a V1 variation, same thing happened right here. Double body rejection, pending buy signal. That'd be another entry there. I just don't want to be on the charts all day. If you want to trade on the 15 minute, same thing. Like if you go back to say last week, this is the 15-minute time frame. If you want to be on the charts like for a long period, you could still trade the same strategies on these higher time frames. I think you'd learn the best on the 1 minute though, because there's going to be so many entries and so many setups for you to look at. But again, looking over here on YM, there's just nothing going on, guys. Price is going sideways. Here's a clean chart. I wish there was something here that we could look at and take, but there just isn't. Price is just going back and forth. See, question from Lila. So Lila said, on the one-on-one mentoring, are we allowed to listen, no interruptions, just observe? Yeah, Lila, 100%. So whenever I do a mentoring session with anybody, like a one-on-one, I'll live stream it to the YouTube channel. So if you guys wanted to sit in on it, because sometimes you don't have questions, but if you listen to someone else asking specific questions, it'll just jog your mind and you'll start thinking of questions that you wouldn't have thought of initially. So yeah, it'll be available unless the person who I'm mentoring asks not to live stream it, then I won't be streaming it. But for the most part, if you just want to sit in and you want to listen to other people's questions and you want to see how I mentor them and explain certain things, you guys will be allowed to just sit in on it, whether you're in a premium or not. Yeah, no problem, Layla. You know, my main goal here is really to help people out, because the more that I help you guys out, the more that I help myself out. You know, we talked about this in the past, like you guys have no idea like how much it helps to mentor, because it gives me ideas in the market. Like this is how I come up with the strategies. This is how I make improvements or little small adjustments to the strategies that we're already applying. Because sometimes there's things that I overlook, like a lot of little things. CJ said this market is really emo today. It's giving me because yeah, I know. So same with me, CJ. There's nothing going on here. It's just sideways market. I'm surprised it's this sideways. It's like I guess we are getting close to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is next week, but surprisingly, the market is super, super flat. Let's see, market open right here. And let me measure it to see how far it pushed from this point. So it pushed up about 37 points and it pushed down about 115 points. This is very small. It's a very small range for market on a Tuesday following a big news event. Today we had a big news event this morning, 5:30 building permits. I wouldn't say it's like a game changer in the market, but obviously a lot of news there. And there's just no direction. So market, like just ignore this area over here because this area was pre-market. This is where market opened at 6:30. And you can see, I'll go to the clean chart actually, it's easier to see. So market open right here at 6:30 and between 6:30 and right now, or until 8 o'clock, I guess, there just has not been any movement here. So the 6:30 is 8 o'clock. Price pretty much has been consolidating within this area, ranging within this area for the past hour now. Market's been open for an hour. Not really much has happened. So let's see. Let's see. Oscar said just email Tradeify. Looks like they're going to reset accounts for the day. Not sure if Apex will do the same. They even made an announcement on Discord. It looks like everyone's having the same issue. I mean, that'd be nice if they did. See Tradeify. The thing is, the uh the issue with the platform is also with Topstep. I got an email from Topstep yesterday that their platform was down. So I mean, it might be a widespread issue across pretty much everyone. If that becomes the case, yeah, they said if you're having issues with Tradeovate, just stop trading. We are reaching out to see the issue. Yeah. So we'll see. I haven't seen anything from Apex. I don't think Apex will. I didn't really have a big issue, so I don't know if they like never update on here anymore. I'm gonna step away for like a few minutes, guys. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab some water, and I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Looks like price finally broke out of the range right there. Broke past the range, finally got past the liquidity that we were pretty much aiming for earlier this morning. There's liquidity right here that got hit earlier, but kind of relevant. Yeah, so this is basically what we were looking for this morning. I wonder if the 100 would have survived. I don't think so. No, it wouldn't have. So looking at this right here, see if price didn't end up getting caught in consolidation right here, it would have blasted right through. That's pretty much where our target would have been earlier this morning for the breakout. So if price actually moved directional, it would have been nice, but it looks like price is finally breaking out of this range I was kind of sitting in. So here's the range I drew up earlier. Price broke out of it. And it is starting to climb now. See if this actually continues climbing or if it gets stuck. So looking at our SR chart, price pretty much went exactly to the top resistance that I drew up earlier. So right here, I drew this when price was within this range. I think we drew this when it was like way down here. So basically, this is where price was consolidating a range when market opened. Our target for our GPR earlier for the breakout was up here, and that's kind of where price pushed up to. So price is still within the range here for the SR chart. I mean, it's pretty high up on the clean chart. But we'll see here. The next thing that you want to look for is to see whether price actually breaks above it and continues climbing, or if price ends up faking out right here and pulls back into the range. My guess is that price is probably going to keep climbing. And that's kind of what's happening right there. So there goes price pushes up. Now prices reach back to the opening or from the news price from this morning. So this is the building permits news at 5:30 earlier this morning. Price is now at that price point. And we'll see where this ends up taking us. All right. So let's see if it ends up pushing up or if it pulls back into the range. If you guys are looking for entries here, let's see. The first or main thing I can probably say to look for is say either a market flow V2, which would happen right here. It's going to be right at the session, so probably not. The other entry that you could be looking for is a possible MPS. So if you're looking to take an MPS, the entry is going to happen depending on where this candle closes. The MPS could happen right here at the 70 mark. The 80 mark, actually. So the MPS would happen right here at the 80 mark. Because you're supposed to go down to the closest whole number. So price retraced right here at the 83. And your entry could be here at the 80 mark, or it could be at the 70. So either 70 or 80 right there. If you did the 80, it looks like it would have filled already. And if you're doing a trailing stop for the 10 points, this is where the 10 points is at. So there's a couple different opportunities here. Like I said earlier, I mean, there's like so many different like strategies you can apply. You can apply the V1 variation. You can apply breakout V3 continuation. You can apply, there's just so many different entries that you can apply here. There's a breakout V3 right here that came up as well. Again, it was at opening price. So probably not one I would take. And looks like the volatility here is going to die down again. I mean, it picked up for a bit and then it looks like it's about ready to slow down again, which is fine. That's kind of what we've been noticing and expecting. So price is currently at the upper level right here. It looks like the 10 points right here is about to get hit for the MPS. So if you took the MPS entry right there, it looks like it would have hit your TP for 10 points. Stop loss would have been moved up to the 10-point mark right there. So if this MPS was taken, it looks like you would have just filled and then now stopped out in profit, or if you're holding it for the full 30, I mean, price could probably still push up even higher. So mine would have gone stopped out here if I would have taken this. If you guys are not familiar with the MPS entry, basically you're looking for trends. So we have a bullish trend right here. We have bullish momentum. We have a bullish trend meter. Price pushed up. Basically, whenever you get a red candle, you put your entry at the closest whole number below it. So right here, the closest whole number would have been 210, wouldn't have filled. Right here, price came down again. Closest whole number would be 260. This wouldn't have filled. Price pushed up again, came down right here. Next whole number would have been right here at the 280 mark. And that's where this one would have gone filled. And depending on where your TP stop loss would be, it would either be right here at the 10 points, or if it was pushing up further, it would push up over here to the 310 mark for the 30 points. So it just kind of depends on how you want to manage it. 30 points right there got hit. And there goes the MPS entry. So you guys can see there's entry, like these entries work well when there's a directional market, right? Unfortunately, over here, I got caught in the sideways market. So this is why, this was kind of my bad. I should have just not have taken any trades down here. I just really thought price was actually going to, move in a direction. But lately, this has kind of been the case. So it's all good. It happens, you can't always have a perfect market. The market's not always going to move in your direction. Like last week, market was perfect. If you guys saw our profits from last week, that was, it was pretty smooth. So let me go over here real quick. I don't even think I took a screenshot of this one from earlier. So let me add this to the criteria. Come up. 657. All right. So we have that in the list of entries. So again, for today, guys, no breakout. There was a breakout, but I didn't take it because yesterday's breakout didn't play through. In order for me to take another breakout, I need to have a breakout that wins. Right now, I'm currently on the risk off plan. So whenever you have two back-to-back breakouts that don't hit, I don't take an entry until it hits. Before we segregated it by weeks, but now we're doing non-segregated because from my data and my model that I put together, the win rate's actually way better if not necessarily win rate, but the profitability is way better if we non-segregate it, especially since we're doing a 1-to-2 now. So we can keep looking for entries here. Let's see, liquidity right here got hit. This came down right here. So the thing with the MPS entries is that it's once per momentum, if you guys remember that. So there's one momentum here, the entry already came up right there. So there's no longer any entry here until we get the retracement. So right here, we're gonna get a retracement. If we get another buy signal, then there may be opportunity for another MPS entry, momentum pullback scalp. Right now, there just isn't. So just gotta wait. for the next entry here. It's 7:41 right now. It's getting closer to 8 o'clock. So as we get closer and closer to 8 o'clock, market tends to kind of die down a little bit. So we might get some slower. I'll just leave this here so that you guys can see that. We might get slower volatility. I mean, we had slow volatility over here earlier on open. Market open right here. We pretty much had a sideways market. Price finally broke up right here. And then now it's going back into a slow market. So go figure. We'll just have to wait for this here to pick back up until take anything.
Oh, I think so, Net King.
Checking my Ninja account real quick. These guys on Ninja, let me see what they're trading. I don't even know what they're trading. MBT. Oh, they're trading micro Bitcoin. Yeah, so if you guys want to trade Bitcoin on Apex or like on whatever futures broker you're using, you can still trade Bitcoin on here. It's just micro Bitcoin futures. I mean, it's the same thing. Like looking at this now, kind of curious to see if the strategies are working well on this. So market, I mean, there's no market open for Bitcoin. It's pretty much open all day. But if you guys want to trade Bitcoin, it looks like there is a breakout V3 continuation that happened right here at 5:30. That looks like that would have played through. Again, I haven't traded this, so I'm not sure how everything is measured. But if you do want to trade Bitcoin on your futures broker, you can. It looks like the Bitcoin market is kind of choppy today as well. It seems like all the markets are kind of choppy. Looks like there's no direction here from 6:30 up until now. I feel like Bitcoin moves more during nighttime. Actually, no. So this was yesterday on Monday. There's a breakout V3 continuation right there. Yeah. So I was just looking at the NinjaTrader platform. So NinjaTrader, they trade live on here too. There's a couple guys here that trade on here. Let me see if I get the link for it. No, I can't. Basically, if you log into your NinjaTrader, it'll show it on the side. I was trying to grab the link for this.
This wick down here, this really long-legged.
Yeah, so these guys are usually analyzing on here too. If you guys are kind of curious to see, I'm not sure if they're any good, but because I've never actually watched a live stream. But it's always curious to see I'm always curious to see what they're looking at. So they were mainly looking at Bitcoin earlier. Now they're looking at MCL. I don't know what MCL is. What is MCL? Crude oil. Yeah, basically all the main stuff. Crude oil, Bitcoin, YM, NQ, ES, etc. Let's go back to YM real quick. All right, guys, nothing's going on here. Price is pretty much just staying flat. It looks like price might be trying to reach this upper level liquidity up here, but the volatility is very low. You can see from these candles here, they're very small. The ATR is currently at 20 right now. It's not super slow, but it's also not fast either. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the day. There's just nothing else to take here. Unfortunately, entries for today didn't play out as we would have anticipated. I lost a trade over here for a V1 variation, lost a trade right here for a breakout V3 continuation. The breakout for today, I didn't take it. I just followed it to make sure if it was going to hit or not. Since it didn't hit today, I'm not taking the breakout tomorrow. I will mark it up for you guys if you guys want to take it or look at it, but I'm not going to be taking the entry on my accounts. I will be taking scalps, so we'll be back to what we're normally doing. But hopefully the market moves more directional tomorrow. Let me check the calendar to see if there's anything happening. So there's not really much happening tomorrow. We have gas stock change, which happens every Wednesday. Nothing special. It's just gas stock change. So we got gas stock oil change here on Wednesday. Thursday, we have some high impact news. We have continuing jobless claims. We have the jobless claim data over here for initial jobless claims, 4-week average, and continuing jobless claims. And then we have existing home sales at 7 tomorrow. So tomorrow might be, or not tomorrow, sorry, on Thursday. On Thursday, we have a lot of news events. Hopefully this will be a catalyst to actually push price and move in a direction. And then on Friday as well, we have S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, S&P Global Services PMI, Michigan Consumer Sentiment. And that's about it for this week. So pretty quiet week with regard to news up until Thursday, Friday. Tomorrow's also quiet. So I don't know, tomorrow might be a little sideways as well, but we'll see what happens then. So, all right, guys, nothing going on here. As you can see, price is consolidating sideways. Price is probably going to consolidate from now until 8 o'clock. So I don't think there's any reason to stay on the chart to force any trades here. Probably better just call it off and then come back tomorrow fresh. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, if you guys want to be mentored by me one-on-one, I'm doing one-on-one mentoring again. It's basically free of charge. All you need to do is have access to the indicators. If you have access to the indicators, then I'll mentor you one-on-one, because mainly I'll mainly be teaching stuff that I'm doing. But if you want me to help you with your own strategy and I'll show you how to use my indicators to improve on yours, then we can do that. But yeah, if you guys want to have a mentoring session with me, just message me. If you guys have access to the indicators, everyone who has access to the indicators is entitled to at least one-on-one session with me per month. And we'll do group mentoring sessions weekly as well. I think this is going to help us be more engaged in the market. I know I'm back to scalping again, how I normally would. So this already gets me pretty engaged in the market, but I think mentoring and teaching stuff will also help as well. Otherwise, the breakout is going to be one of our main entries still. There's just no entry for today. There's no entry for tomorrow. And we'll see if there's going to be an entry later this week. So yeah, if tomorrow wins Wednesday, then we'll take one on Thursday and then possibly on Friday. Hopefully those are 2 back-to-back wins, because that'd be nice to have 2 back-to-back wins for the breakout to wrap up this week. That'll pretty much stack up quite a bit. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. Lila said start fresh tomorrow. Thanks. Go relax. Yeah, definitely. It's probably better to just hold off on the market, guys. Price will probably push up and hit liquidity here, but other than that, it's probably going to go back to moving sideways. So I think that's it for the day. All right, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow for the next live session as we continue on with this trading week.